Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So the Charlie Kirk effect, we've talked about it regarding some of the early vote numbers out of Virginia, New Jersey, the poll that came out showing Jack Ciattarelli in the lead ahead of the election, and he has all the momentum. But it does seem as if they tried to take out Charlie Kirk and they may have killed the man, but they have not killed the idea. They have not killed the movement. They have not killed the energy. In fact, they've made it grow stronger and stronger. And you're seeing this in the raw data, because in the past week alone, out of the state of Pennsylvania, Republicans have netted over 3,000 voter registrations over the Democrats. And the week before, they were also able to go out there and net 1,000, and it does seem like this trend is ramping up. And this was not due to them just purging voters off the voter rolls. These are new voters. These are party switchers. These are people that want to get involved in the political system because they saw how the other side has reacted to this whole tragedy. And they've just egged it on. They've cheered it on in many cases, or excused those cheering it on, point fingers, blame the right for it, basically tell the right that they're the ones that need to turn down the temperature, or whatever that means, instead of themselves trying to look inward and prevent things like this from happening. So regardless, whatever way you want to look at it, this is not a win for the left. They have killed the man, but they have not killed the idea. Charlie Kirk, Turning Point Action, a lot of the work that they did was also ballot chasing. They helped Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, in Arizona. They're the reason why Arizona is as red as it is right now. It's Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action in particular. And it seems like the numbers in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, as well as Nevada, a party flip in Nevada, are just moving to the right significantly since Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and it's ramping up. And we're going to dive into the data because Democrats, it's also on them. It's how they've dropped the ball. It's how they've turned off so many voters, how they've navigated this just as much as the initial tragedy, the assassination that took place. So we'll dive into some of the numbers, but really quickly, guys, have to tell you about my friends over at Chalk. Our country just witnessed Donald Trump overcome political persecution, an assassination attempt, and the entire deep state to retake the presidency with a historic victory. And one secret ingredient allowed him to do it, and it's called testosterone. And what most people don't realize is that testosterone makes men willing and eager to take on challenges. Sadly, too many men have lost their fight, and that's exactly how the globalists want it. They want us weak, out of shape, and full of estrogen and microplastics with low T, which is why we're excited to partner with Chalk. They offer a whole line of products formulated to increase your energy, focus, detoxify your body, and clinically studied boost testosterone. Ingredients in the Chalk Male Vitality Stack have been clinically studied to boost free testosterone in 87% in just 21 days. Unlike with gimmicky vegetable pills or powder, you will feel the difference, and they have the clinical studies to back it up. And right now you can get 25% off your Chalk subscription, not just one time, but for life. So go to chalk.com, spelled CHOQ.com, and use the promo code REDEAGLE. That's 25% off any subscription for life, and you can cancel it at any time. All right, guys, back to the video. So Pennsylvania. This is huge. 3,000 votes could determine the outcome of the election in 2028 in the state, because Pennsylvania's always been a close state. It was close in 16, close in 2020. And since 2020, it's zoomed to the right. From the total registration numbers in 2016 to now, it's like 900,000 of a shift we've seen to the right. And that lead is only down to 53,000. That lead was, over 100-some thousand more than that at election day in 2024. So you're already seeing a massive shift in the total voter registration numbers. It's like 700,000 to the right since 2016, or 2012 it would be close to 1 million, and just a massive shift to the right. And Democrats just can't bank on the state being a state that starts out in their column. If anything, it's a state that is going to be difficult for them to win, not a state that they need to just passively defend in some sort of neutral year. And you can see this. Pennsylvania went for Donald Trump by 120,000 votes. That's a shift of 200,000 raw votes since 2020. And you saw the voter registration move by more than that, closer to 400,000. So you're seeing this shift continue. Republican voters are solidifying. And also, when it comes down to registration, it matters. Even if the person has been voting Republican and then flips from Democrat to Republican, it's still a huge positive because now the party understands who they need to actually turn out to vote, and it'll pad their floor. We saw this in Florida. There was a big shift in Florida ahead of 2020, North Carolina to a lesser extent, and it's like a lot of people ignored it, said it doesn't matter. But when the dam breaks, the dam breaks, and it definitely broke in Florida as it was one of the few states to move right in 2020, but also the trend continued by a lot, and it moved another 10 points to the right in 2024, and Donald Trump won that state by 13 points. He won it by 1.5 million votes. So Pennsylvania is huge. It's crucial. And Republicans going out there and netting 4,000 voters, it seems as if the antics of a lunatic on September 10th have had the negative impact because people are waking up even more. And North Carolina, we could look at North Carolina. I mean, you saw a big shift last week as well. Since the incident, it was approximately 1218, and then on top of that, another 1,700. So 3,000 in North Carolina as well. That's also huge because this is a state that already is in the Republican column. Donald Trump won the state by close to 200,000 votes, and Republicans have net a lot of votes. They flipped the active voter registration. They very well will flip the overall registration probably by the end of this calendar year. And the most impressive thing is I don't even think Republicans in history have ever had a lead in North Carolina's voter registration. You had a lot of ancestral Democrats, you had a lot of independents that, swung right, which is why Republicans have won the state in the past by a decent margin in some cases. But overall, the state has not really been in their column when it comes down to voter registration. But now that you've padded your floor, you can get out voters, you got a competent party. That's really bad news for Democrats ahead of a very crucial and competitive Senate race that's coming up. And then you have the whole Willie Horton moment with Roy Cooper that is bad news for Democrats. That story kind of got buried with the whole train stabbing thing because of the Charlie Kirk assassination, but I will tell you that it's not going to go away in North Carolina come election time. So we're going to have to be monitoring that race. But also, it's not just Pennsylvania that's on the verge of flipping. It's not North Carolina that is also on a much larger verge of flipping in terms of the overall lead. Now, the active voter lead flipped pretty recently, and already Republicans have gone up by like 100,000 votes since then. I mean, this is a massive year for Republican voter registration. You're not looking like you're, staring a blue wave in the face at all. If anything, you're staring some sort of Republican favorable year in the face. Even if it's neutral, it's still bad for Democrats, but a state that Republicans won for the first time in 20 years at the presidential level is the silver state of Nevada. And Republicans and Democrats have kind of done this seesaw thing where they flip back and forth and back and forth. But still, I think that it might have flipped, and I don't want to say for good because we kind of have been down this road before because Nevada's been a little bit weird. But regardless, there was a 5,400 vote shift from Democrat to Republican since the previous update, I believe, which was in August. Some of this is the Charlie Kirk effect. Some of this is routine maintenance. But still, that's a massive shift. 5,000 voters in this state. I mean, if you want to do the math, that's close to 1% of the electorate. Maybe not, but if you want to go look at Nevada, this was a state that was decided by 40-some thousand votes, 4%. So you do the math, I would say, it's like half a point right there. That's still huge in what we're seeing, and hopefully that trend can continue because this is just a massive shift from blue to red overall. And here's why it's important, because we talk about Florida. Florida's red now, safe red even. When the dam breaks, the dam breaks. Arizona's another state where it broke. If anything, I wouldn't be shocked if we put that in the likely column moving forward. But also, let's say Nevada stays red, even if it doesn't move into the likely column. That's huge. North Carolina, if that stays red, 252. Republicans get Pennsylvania, boom, 271. You don't even need Georgia. You don't need Michigan. You don't need Wisconsin. You don't need New Hampshire. And this is why Republicans need to understand they have a mandate right now, and they need to act and they need to utilize the power that they have, because the notion that they're just going to be handing the ball back to the Democrats like it's inevitable, it's not technically the case. In fact, Democrats need a complete and total inside straight to win. Now, it used to be the other way. Donald Trump, he needed to win every swing state and then pick off a state like Michigan or Wisconsin or Pennsylvania they wouldn't even label as purple. And then 2020 on that map, they only gave Trump like 100 electoral votes in the safe column, which was just ridiculous. But I mean, even if you go margin-wise, that was kind of the case because Texas and Florida were more competitive. But now Texas is being shored up. Florida's being shored up. Arizona's done a complete boomerang. Pennsylvania, that's a state where Republicans have had a lot of room to grow, and now they're finally capitalizing on it, and you're seeing it in the trends. I'm not saying they're going to win the governorship next year. I'm not even saying they're going to win the Supreme Court races in the state this year. But the early vote numbers do look phenomenal, even compared to 2020, so we'll wait and see on that front. But it's like, will they compete more so than people expect? Yes, I believe so. Will they hold those competitive House races? There's a solid chance. And will they start off, if you have to pick one, as a favorite? In terms of being 50% plus one favorites in Pennsylvania, absolutely, I would say that as things stand right now, the Republicans would be the favorites there. And the voter registration numbers are backing this up. And the whole Charlie Kirk thing, a lot of people thought this would demoralize people, including the people that, or person, I guess you would say, but maybe people, who knows? We don't know yet, that orchestrated this thing. They wanted to demoralize the right, and I think they ended up making the right stronger than ever. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, once again. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.